Welcome to the Struggle Series podcast with your host, Anthony Corelli.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Struggle Series podcast. I am your host, Anthony, and tonight we are continuing in our new novel entitled Friend. Before we get to that, however, I just want to remind you to check out our other podcast entitled Grace for the Unlovable. That podcast is designed to help people who are either struggling with a secret or who have had something exposed out in the world and they just feel unlovable. Whether society has deemed them unlovable or if they feel unlovable in and of themselves, we just want you to have a place where you can tell your story judgment-free. So every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, my wife Melissa and I set out to just help those who are hurting, those who need help. And so check us out again in the same places you listen to this podcast. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you giving us your time. Now, let's get to Chapter 6, entitled The Aftermath. Detective Wilson arrived at the Griego house shortly after the first officers. The family and their guests had all been made to stay in the living room. Two officers sat with the group in order to prevent them from discussing the subject of the death of little Marcus. Detective Wilson walked into the room and said, "I was told it was brought to your attention that we are here because a young man lost his life. We were told that Marcus came over here sometime today. Is that true?" Madeline was the first to speak up. She cried as she said, "Yes, he came over and stayed upstairs with Maddie for about 15 minutes. Then he ran out the door. We haven't seen him since." The detective asked, "What time was this?" Derek spoke up. "The boy came here about 15 after 9 this morning. I know that because I went out to get something out of my car. I spoke with him. He was a very polite little boy." Detective Wilson asked Maddie, "What did you talk about when you were in your room?" Maddie answered, "He wanted to talk about my grandpa and why he killed that priest." "Why did he want to know that?" "I don't know, but I got mad and told him I didn't want to talk about it. I tried to get him to fight, but he just ran away." "Why did you want to fight him?" "Because he is not my friend. He was just pretending to be my friend. I think he just wanted to go tell everybody at school so he could look cool or something." The detective then asked, "What happened when he left?" Madeline said, "He came running down the stairs and ran out the door, slamming it behind him." Detective Wilson looked at Maddie and said, "Did you threaten him?" Bruce spoke up and said, "Hold on. What are you saying? Do you think we had something to do with his death?" Detective Wilson said, "That is not what I'm saying at all. You just have to understand that this is the last place he was known to be." Bruce continued, "The boy wasn't here past 30 minutes after 9 this morning. As a matter of fact, he wasn't even invited. He just showed up. The kid is 7 or 8 years old and his parents let him walk over here. Heck, we don't even know his parents, let alone where he lives. If you want to blame someone, blame them for not being more responsible." "Mr. Griego, we are not trying to blame anybody. I'm just trying to figure out who would have killed an 8-year-old boy. If he was having a conflict with this family, it's a lead that I have to follow. All I can tell you is we haven't left this house all day. Even if Maddie was angry at him, none of us could have done it. We have been here all day, and we have had clergy members in our house all day. We have rock-solid alibis." "While we are on the subject, why has there been clergy members in your house? Is there something going on?" Bruce shouted, "It's none of your business why they are here. I'm about sick of this questioning. We have nothing to do with that boy's death. The boy left early this morning. We haven't seen him since. We haven't left all day. It couldn't have been us. When did the boy die? If you're using your head, you can do the math. Take the time of death and look at who was home the entire time. Then you move on to the next suspect." "What about the clergy? Did any of them see him?" Derek spoke up. "Again, I saw him. What they are saying is true. I was here until about 10 this morning. well after the boy left. I went home to change and get a little more rest. Alice came to relieve me at 10, so they had an alibi the entire time. So you did leave this house. What time did you return? I came back about 30 minutes after 5. The coroner said that the boy was killed about 10 a.m. The park he was found in is only about a 5-minute drive from here. Are you sure you left at 10? Or was it a little sooner? Derek said, Listen, man, I didn't have anything to do with that kid's death. I don't even know that kid, and definitely don't have a motive. Well, answer this question. What are you all doing here? Is this like a Bible study or something? Or does this have to do with all those rumors of demons and possession? Father Fitzgerald spoke up. I hate to interject, but you yourself said that you believe that there may be a demonic presence haunting this family. I'm not trying to be adversarial, but don't forget that you have seen things yourself. We are, in fact, helping this family with the spiritual warfare matter. Detective Wilson said, I don't care about all that stuff. I'm here to solve the case of a dead kid. A dead kid who was just at the home of a family that just had a murder-suicide occur days ago. Madeline spoke up and said, Our family has been through hell. Your comments are insensitive. I feel bad for Marcus and his family, but again, who lets their child wander the neighborhood and visit people's homes without first checking with the other parents? Anybody could have grabbed that boy. I can assure you it wasn't us. Detective Wilson took a deep breath. He changed his tone and asked, Do you know of anybody who would want to hurt that boy? As he asked the question, he looked out the dining room window into the backyard. He was almost sure that he saw a little boy standing by the fence. He did a double take and stuttered. Is is there a little boy in the backyard? Bruce said, It's dark outside. Are you sure you didn't see a shadow? Detective Wilson said, That street light out front lights up that part of the yard. I am almost sure I saw a little boy out there. Do you have a gate out there by the back fence? Bruce explained that there is no gate back there, only on the side of the house. The family, as well as the ministry team, thought the same thing in unison. Rafi. When the detective left, Pastor Terrence Atkins spoke. Well, we should probably call it a night. We should pick this up back tomorrow night. Does that work for everybody? They agreed to meet at 7 the following evening. Then he changed his tone. He said, I have some serious anger going on inside of me right now. I just want to be honest that I'm going to have to pray about that. Bruce, I want you to know that you did the right thing by telling us your secret. The demon will be weakened because of your honesty. With that being said, that type of abuse has affected my family. I'm going to have to separate the two in my spirit. Alice spoke up and said, I hate to interrupt, Pastor, but I feel something in my spirit. I feel like all of the secrets have not been revealed. I may be wrong, but that's what I feel. All families have secrets. Please don't feel like I'm being judgmental. I just can't help but wonder if maybe Madeline's mother and father may have had a secret. Maybe, Bruce, you still have something you're holding back? I can't say for sure, but I feel like there is more to be revealed. Terrence said, I think it would be a good idea for all of you to think and pray about any other issues that you are afraid to reveal. The demon will absolutely use it against you. That's why I told you about my anger. We have to be honest. We have to close any portals that have been opened that allow this demon to come and go in your lives. We do that by renouncing the permissions that we gave. We will start out tomorrow by getting a deeper history of your families. Madeline, we know a lot about Bruce, but I want to know a little more about you. That night, Pastor Atkins prayed for God to reveal to him what he may be missing. He also prayed for God to allow him to show grace for Bruce. As he prayed, he felt a presence enter his bedroom. He began to feel a fear that he did not normally feel when dealing with demons. This felt different. He looked over in time to watch his wife wake from a deep sleep. Her eyes were wide open, as she reached up as if she were trying to remove a pair of hands from her neck area. She was gasping for air. His instinct was to try and physically save her from the invisible entity that was strangling his wife. He reached for her and was thrown back with such a force that he landed on the floor. He began to pray and rebuke the demon. After about 30 seconds, his wife took a deep breath. She immediately began to cry. So did he. In all of his years working in deliverance ministry, his family had never been attacked in this manner. He held her as they cried. Then they prayed for about 30 minutes. Sleep was at a minimum that night. At the exact moment of the attack at the Atkins house, a very large demon made its way through the woods outside of a rectory. The demon walked with a purpose. If someone had been out in those woods, they would have heard branches breaking as if a large animal were hunting prey. The demon stopped in front of the rectory's front door. Even though this was church property, the demon didn't seem to care. It was there for Father Fitzgerald, and there was nothing that was going to stop it. As he slept, the demon entered the room and watched him sleep. Father Fitzgerald seemed to sense the entity as he woke up startled. He looked into the corner of the room and saw a large shadow figure. His eyes strained to make sense of what he was seeing. All doubt was erased when through the darkness, a pair of glowing red eyes appeared. Confusion was replaced with fear. Matty was asleep on the floor of his parents' bedroom. He was afraid to be alone. He was on his side when he felt a tap on his back. He wasn't sure if he was dreaming or if it was real. Then he felt it again. He was about to scream when he felt a hand cover his mouth. He turned around and saw Rafi standing over him. He wasn't sure what to do next. Rafi motioned for him to come out into the hallway. Once in the hallway, Rafi motioned for him to come downstairs. Matty followed until they reached the main level dining room. This is when Rafi said, "I came to check on you, Matty. How are you?" Matty answered, "I'm kind of sad for Marcus. I can't believe he's dead. I know I was mad at him, but I didn't want him to die." Rafi said, "I know you didn't want him to die. It is very sad. I am also sad that he wasn't a good friend to you. I am angry that he just wanted to pretend to be your friend. He just wanted to get information from you and then share it with the kids at school." Matty asked, "How do you know that he wasn't really my friend?" "I overheard him talking to his family about your family. I also heard him talking to one of his friends that he was going to come and get details of your grandfather's death. I didn't like that he said those things to you. I'm glad that you stuck up for yourself, Matty." "Wait, how did you know what he said to me? Were you here?" "Yes, I was, Matty. I told you to stay away from him. When I saw him come over, I was hoping you would tell him to leave right away. I hid and listened to make sure that you were okay. I knew he was not a good boy. Do you know how he died? Maybe you should tell the police. They tried to blame us for it." "There are a lot of things I know, Matty. Yes, I know how he died. Also, I do not talk to police. I'm only here for you." Matty and Rafi sat and talked about the ministers that were coming tomorrow night to pray. Rafi said, "Matty, just because somebody is a pastor or a priest doesn't mean that they can be trusted. Just be careful listening to them. I tell you what, if you have any questions about things they say, just ask me. I'm probably the only one that you can fully trust right now. Now, you better get back in there before they notice you're gone. I will see you soon, friend." As Matty tried to go back to sleep, he accidentally bumped his parents' bed. Bruce woke up in time to see a dark figure move from the bedroom doorway down the hall. He wasn't sure if he was waking from a dream or if what he saw was real. Bruce whispered, "Matty, you awake?" "Yes, Dad." Can I ask you a question? Did Rafi just leave? Maddie answered, Yes, he did. How did you know? Did you see him? I think I did, son. I told you he was real, Dad. This story is written, narrated, and produced by me, Anthony M. Corelli. This program is copyright The Struggle LLC. Remember, do not fear the things of this world, because God says, Take heart, I have overcome the world. May God bless you and bring you peace. Good night.
Thank you for listening to the Struggle Series podcast. Please like, subscribe, and tell a friend. We will see you next time.